it's 9 p.m. Yeah. Okay, so like I say, we always start on time. So welcome. Hi everybody, and I want to welcome you to our 15 lunch actually webinar. Wow, that's amazing, right? I mean, it's like I was quite surprised when I see that this is actually our 15th webinar. So for those of you who have joined us on previous webinars, thank you so much, and I'm very happy to have you guys back again. And of course, for the newbies who have just joined us for the first time, I see there are some of you who are new here as well. Thank you for spending your precious Wednesday evening with us here. So first and foremost, of course, like I think while waiting for everybody to stream in, I've been asking everybody just now, how have you been doing? And I think some of you have been saying that you have been busy with work. We even have someone who say that, they are going to do their first cross-state business work trip. And of course, for all of us here in Singapore, we're actually gearing up for general election this Friday. So I'm very thankful to still see so many of you here from Singapore who's joining us for tonight's webinar. Yeah, even though I'm sure, like a lot of us are in election fever right now. So maybe, like those of you who are in Singapore, let us know. You can type in the chat right now. So you can just type SG, if you're from Singapore. Yes, so let's see how many Singaporeans we have on tonight's webinar. Yeah, wow, quite a few. I see Helen, Maybelline, Tricia, AL, Kun Hing. Wow, so a lot of our audience from Singapore today. Irene, who says hi, everyone. Awesome. Okay, so do we have anybody who is from Malaysia, Hong Kong, Indonesia, or Thailand, or anywhere else you might be? Do let us know as well. Okay, so Super Rabbit Carrot is from Malaysia. Edith is from Malaysia. Yeah, we have Marvin from KL, Leo from Malaysia, oh, Justin from Thailand, Hannah from Jakarta, we have Cindy from Hong Kong. Wow, awesome. So we have representatives from, we have from FC from Penang as well, Jakarta, very nice. Yeah, so very, very excited to see, all of the branches that we are in are being represented here. Okay, so I'm very excited about tonight's webinar because we have a very, very special guest tonight. But of course, before I go and introduce her, I want to launch a very simple poll to find out how did you guys actually know about us. Okay, so I'm going to launch the poll now and you should see it on your screen. Okay, so let's see, how did you actually hear about this webinar? Yes, yeah, I see all the answers coming in. Yeah, so we just want to know, how do you know about us, and did the friends share this with you? Yes, so more than 50% have already voted. Yes, so let's see if we can get it up to maybe 70, 80%. Yeah, thanks for participating. Like those of you who have been joining our webinars, that it's usually very participative. For those of you who are new, we are glad you are joining in as well. Yep, so more than 70% have voted. Okay, awesome. So I'm just going to give you a couple more seconds before I close the poll. Okay, so I'm ending the poll right now. And I'm going to just share the results with you. So good to know that quite a lot of you know about us through our EDM, and quite a lot of you know it from social media as well. And I think we are really happy to see that a lot of you are here because of word of mouth, meaning your friends probably have benefited from our webinar, and that's the reason why they have shared it with you. Awesome. Okay, so my next question is actually, how many of you have actually joined us before for a webinar, or is this the first time that you are joining our webinar? Okay, so we're just going to launch a poll right now, and let's see how many newbies do we have tonight. So usually we do have quite a number of newbies, but we usually also have quite a lot of you who have joined us like many times. So you can see that the one with the biggest number is actually more than 10 times. So let's see how many of you have actually attended more than 10 times. Okay, we have more than 60% who have replied. Okay, let's see if we can get it up to 70%, 75%. Okay, just going to give you a couple of seconds more, and I'm going to close the poll. Okay, going to close it right now. Okay, so sharing the results with you as well. So quite a number of newbie, about 37%, and quite a lot of you who are coming back for the second and third time, and to the very special 3% who have attended over 10 of our webinars. Thank you so much for your support. We really, really appreciate it. Okay, so I'm just going to stop sharing this and just give me a moment. Seem to be having a bit of a technical issue here today. Okay, so like I say, very, very happy that we have been able to do this webinar on a consistent basis and really reaching out to so many of you. And if you do, of course, have friends who will be able to benefit from our webinar, do share it with them. And of course, those of you who have been attending, you know that we always have a special gift at the end. So do remember to stay until the end so you can get the special gift that we have for all the participants tonight. Okay, so now I would like to quickly introduce myself because we see that there's quite a few of you who have not been to our webinar before. So my name is Violet and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Lunch Actually Group. And of course, just want to share very quickly with you about our company as well. So my husband and I started the business more than 16 years ago. I think a lot of people usually ask me, did I meet my husband through a dating service? So like I say, we didn't. We actually met at university, and after working, I found that a lot of my colleagues were single and not dating. And in a way, actually, my colleagues were the one who kind of inspired me to start a dating service. So currently, we are in 5 different locations, and we have many different platforms. Next slide, please. Yep. So our philosophy is that we really want to help singles to not just meet the right one, which is what a lot of dating platforms out there are doing. We really want to help singles to also be the right one. So our philosophy is that in order to find the right person, you need to be the right one, meet the right one, and choose the right one. Because when you are just focusing on meeting the right one, you might not end up choosing the right person. So, and that's also a reason why, during the circuit breaker period, and even now after that, we have been focusing on webinars like this, because we really want to help singles out there like yourself to, we want to help equip you with the right mindset and the right skill set as well. Okay, and other than that, we also have, of course, our matchmaking services as well as our coaching services. So I think those of you who have been joining us for a while, you would have known about our coaching services. You would also have met some of our dating consultants or dating coaches who have been on the webinars with me, where they have been sharing their expertise and of course their experience as well. The other thing that I would like to share with you guys is that we have launched a new app. So it's our Lunch Actually app. So it's available both on Apple as well as the Google Play Store. So using the app, you can actually make an appointment to catch up with our consultant, and you can also use the app to communicate with our consultants as well. However, this is still the beta version. Going forward, we are looking forward to be able to share matches with you through the app. You can also potentially do video calls with your dates, and of course give your feedback through the app as well. So those is in the pipeline, but right now, if you're interested to just have a look at the app, or maybe read some of our articles, you can I would say download the app and try it out. Okay, so that's all about me and also the company. And of course, now it is the time that all of you have been waiting for, which is for me to bring out my special guest for tonight.
Hello.
which is none other than my good friend Yu-Yi.
Was it too soon? Should I come out again?
No, you're great.
Yes, okay, maybe I should have done that again.
Yes, so
yes,
I think I just want to also share how Yu-Yi and I met. So
okay.
Unfortunately, the story is not so exciting lah. So the story is Yu-Yi and I met on Good Morning Singapore.
Yes. I had my humble beginning at TV while I was doing the morning show, and that was in 2008. That was in
Wow,
2018.
you remember the year.
Yes, and
Awesome.
if I'm not wrong, I think that was the first or the second year when you started the
Yes.
agency, was it?
We started 04.
Oh, so there was a couple of years after
Yes.
you have started the agency.
Yes. Yeah. So
Ah,
that's how I met Yu Yi, like very happy, always very happy to be on the show. And after that, we became friends. So
yes.
that's why I'm so happy and so honored that Yu Yi has agreed to come on to our LA webinar to share more of her experience, like her expertise with us. So can we please give Yu Yi the lunch actually welcome? So
Yay.
everybody, please, like welcome Yu Yi in the chat.
Hi. Gosh, I am so excited to be here. And I have to be honest with you, I am actually a little nervous right now.
we can't tell. We can't tell.
It's
Yeah,
all in
so
the
we see
technique.
so we see, a lot of people like Daniel,
Oh,
Hannah, Eve,
so amazing.
Sujata, Alice. Yeah, everybody is
Oh,
saying welcome Yu
there's
Yi.
so
Yes,
many
so
of you.
yes, Josh say Yu Yi, don't be scared.
Okay.
I think Josh was saying just now that he and his family watched you on TV. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
Mm.
And I think I was, obviously I was just trying to quietly sit around and just to spy on everyone, see what everyone's talking about. So I see that there are people coming in from Indonesia and from
Yes.
Malaysia and Thailand. This is so
Yes.
amazing.
Yes. So, you eat, I mean, obviously our Singaporean audience, they are very familiar with you. They know what you do. But like you say, we do have participants from Jakarta, from Malaysia, from Hong Kong, from, all across, all the different locations that we are in, right? So,
Yes.
can you do a self-introduction, please?
Okay, of course. So as you know, my name is Yo Yi. So this is my Chinese name. I'm actually half Indonesian. I do have an Indonesian name that's Iriana Halim. My dad's from Medan, but most of our family, they now reside in Jakarta. My mom's Vietnamese Chinese. We moved around a lot when I was little, and it was until much later that we got settled down in Singapore. So this is where I grew up. And as some of you might know, I started my career in the radio industry. Then subsequently, I joined TV. And then at the morning show, I met this amazing, successful businesswoman coming to the show with all the energy, and you look light and so radiant, so energetic. And then we became friends ever since. And yes, this is how we met.
Awesome. You so maybe for the, to welcome our Indonesian friends, right? Since you're half
Yes.
Indonesian, maybe you want to speak some Bahasa?
Gosh, I am so bad at this. Really? Can I just use my Google Translate for this? Hold on, let me go get my dad, Papa. Help. Uh, okay, when I was doing the morning show, I just learned to say Selamat Pagi to all my Malay colleagues. That helps.
Yeah, so actually it's quite interesting because you live in Hong Kong as well, right?
I was born in Hong Kong,
Oh,
but
you're
the
born in Hong
family,
Kong.
yes, and
Yeah.
then because my dad was working for a multinational company, so we were moving around a lot, and I feel that that's probably an overcompensation on my parents' part, that they were so worried that we wouldn't be able to speak Mandarin and English,
Yeah.
so that they make sure that we spend our entire childhood learning these two languages, which
Okay.
unfortunately, so I didn't get to pick up any Bahasa or Vietnamese at all, which is quite a pity lah. Now I think about it, I really should have done that.
Yeah, never too late, never too late. Yeah, Duolingo is an awesome language app. You can try it out.
I can say makan.
Makan, yes,
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, so we have, like someone who is asking what's tonight's topic, so you ask it at the right time because tonight's topic is actually how to immediately engage with anyone or everyone you meet. And of course, when I managed to secure Yui, because she's like so busy, right? And then tonight she was on TV as well. And when I managed to secure her to join us on this show, I was like, okay, I think definitely, this is something that's right up her alley, like it's something that she does every day because imagine you have to like interview new people all the time, right? And that's how I meet Yui as well. How do you immediately kind of like strike a chord with them, to just connect with them instantly. And of course, I think that this is also a topic that is very relevant to our community tonight, because other than, of course, yes, dating, but I think be it when they are going for a job interview. And just now I saw someone who actually said that, oh, I've been attending a lot of online job interviews as well. So I'm so excited to get Yui to come share with us. And of course, Yui has also been very, very nice to come and share with our consultants as well. So some of you who know our consultants, like Melinda, like Andrea, Rochelle. So Yui actually have been to our Singapore office and also been sharing some of these great presentation and communication skills with our consultants. Yes. So I believe Yui, she has actually prepared quite a number of tips for us tonight. So I want to pass the time over to Yui, and yes, the floor is all yours.
Okay, let's just keep this interactive, shall we?
Yes,
But before
yes.
I get started, I do want to probably give everyone a little bit of a clearer picture of what this is really about. If any of you has seen me doing anything on TV that you wish you could do, I need you to understand that it's not a talent, it's a skill. It's a skill that can be learned. By the age of 14, okay, this is one thing that most of you wouldn't know about me. I have been to 7 different schools before I turned 14 because my family was moving around so much. It was through that experience, I realized that the great thing about being a child is we are not afraid to make new connections. We're not afraid to make new friends at all. We will just take one look at each other. It doesn't even matter if we didn't speak the same language. I look at you, you look at me, and then we go like, wanna play Barbie? And then we were like, okay.
I was so shocked. I was so shocked when you told me that you have been to 14 different, 7
Yes,
different schools by the time
7.
you're 14. That's
Yes,
crazy. I mean, like,
I
so
know,
what is the shortest amount of time that you actually spent in a school?
I have no idea, probably a year. I did 2
Wow.
kindergarten, one in Singapore,
Mm-hmm.
one in Taiwan. I did 3 different primary school. One was in Singapore, the Singapore American School. And then subsequently we moved to Taipei. I went to 2 different schools in Taipei because again, we were moving around. I attended 2 different secondary school. So that was when we decided to settle down in Singapore for good. But even at that age, you started from just being a child and just want to make friends, and then slowly you learn to observe the different group dynamics. And unfortunately, I felt that along the way, I've also learned to worry about all the social interactions and started to feel self-conscious about it. So just like the skills that I was talking about, the fear that we have about social interactions, I believe it's acquired too. So again, if we can acquire fear, we can acquire skills. Makes sense?
Wow, I love that. Yeah. So I think just to recap very quickly, right? I think what Yui is just trying to share with us is that, we see her on TV, and some of us have seen her like acting as well. So I think what she's just trying to say, whatever she's able to do right now, of course, when we look at her, we think, she's born with it. She's just someone that is like just gifted when it comes to presentation. But I think what she's just trying to encourage us is that it's not a talent, but it's a skill that we can acquire.
Yes.
And I think, also based on her background, like what she have shared, because she has to go to 7 different schools, I really cannot imagine that, right? I mean, I definitely just went to 1 kindergarten, 1 primary school and 1 secondary school, which I think that's what most of us have done. I mean, is there anybody else who's watching right now? You have been to 7 different schools. If you have, maybe you can share with us as well. Yeah, but that's definitely very unusual, and I think probably that is the beginning of where you start developing some of these skills.
Yes, I believe so. I think, of course, it started out as me being put against all the different cultural backdrops and even in a different language setting. But it was
Yes.
since then now that I look back, I was probably building up the awareness to observe all the different social dynamics or what we consider the social norms, or even the games that we play as kids.
Yes.
So I think someone mentioned about my so-called acting career, something that
Yes,
happened
yes.
for me. It happened for me for a while, and I felt that was probably what helped me complete my entire experience when it comes to presentation. Because for the longest time, I've been trained by some of the best in the industry. But I felt that it was the acting technique that helped me complete my circle of knowledge. Of course, I'm not saying that I know everything right now, but I do feel that now that I'm equipped with the right mindset for me to handle all the different situations, and as well as helping the people I work with in presenting themselves. And I do.
And you eat also, you recommended a book to me, you know, like, because when you talk about actor, right? Yeah, I still have not read it yet. I have bought it, but it's still sitting. It's just still sitting there. Yeah, so I think you have just reminded me that, yes, I need to start reading that book.
Yes, it's a beautiful book. And when it comes to acting, it's really about a recreation of real life scenarios, and that's into making sense of it and into making it believable. So to be able to do that, first you need to understand what are real life situations. How do you dissect a situation? Of course, we don't have to go into that today because that's kind of complicated, but I do want to focus on each and every one of you right now, because when we talk about presentation skills, yes, you need the skills, but I feel that most importantly, it's about you. It's about making you feeling comfortable in expressing yourself, and so that you can enjoy the social interaction. This is what it's really about.
Awesome. Okay, so who is excited to hear about you each sharing? You know, who is excited to learn about what the 5 tips are? Let us know right now in the chat. If you're excited, say yes. Yeah, everybody say me. Let's go, let's go. Yes, let's go, let's go, let's go. Yes.
This is me in the chat group. Awesome.
Yep. Okay. So what are the 5 tips? Yeah, let's go. Yep.
Okay. First of all, I want to talk about the commitment. Okay, when I say commitment, of course, I don't mean like relationship commitment, okay? If you're just meeting someone for the first time, this is usually not the word that we think about. But I do want to talk about the commitment to start a conversation. You see, when you start a conversation, usually you don't have to worry about the things that you said, because it can be just a really simple hello, how are you? But it's the way that you say it. So say if I'm meeting Violet for the first time, right? I'll be like, oh, hi, Violet, how are you? Yeah, how's it going? Oh, yeah, okay. How do you find the event? Yeah. How do you feel, Violet? How does it make you feel?
I mean, okay, at least you make the effort, but probably it's very, it's probably very similar to, you know, any other person who would have, you know, like talk to me, I guess, to a certain extent.
Exactly. You're like, okay, like you want to start a conversation, or do you just, you know, just trying to find something to do? So this is not what we do when you start a conversation. First, you show the commitment in your tone. You go to the person and you start with a really strong hi. Hi, how are you? How do you find the event? How's it going? You look at the person and you make your tone convincing. And this is what you're telling the person in your tone, that I am not going anywhere. This conversation is starting right now. This is where you show the commitment. So this is my tip. Number 1, the commitment, it's in the tone.
Wow. Actually, that's a huge difference. Quite interesting, because it's the same words, exactly same words, but the feeling is so different. Exactly. And you know what I realized? I'm not sure whether this is what they teach you guys at MediaCorp. Because I realized that all the DJs, you know, all the celebrities that I've met so far, that is that. The presence is there, you know, like the tone. Yeah, and you feel very special. You're like, wow, you know, like she really wants to talk to me.
Yes, because you being the guest on the show, it will be my job to make you feel comfortable.
Yes,
you know, I can't make you come to the show and do my job for me. I mean, I wouldn't mind doing that, you know, I'll be more than happy to do that. But to show my appreciation and to encourage you to share your knowledge, it'll be my job to make sure that you are ready. You're ready for this entire conversation. And I need to convince you that I am ready to help you too.
Yes. So Gina say, you know, like be present at the moment. Absolutely right. And Billy say commitment is in the tone. Yes, good job.
Yep. And on this note, I want to touch on the eye contact. Okay. We all know that you're supposed to keep the eye on the person you're talking to. But I want to talk about real strong eye contact. For example, Back in the good old days when we were allowed to have handshakes, how do you do? How do you do a handshake? You shake the person's hand and, hey, how are you? And that's it, right? But so often we get caught up, especially when we are meeting a group of people for the first time. We get so excited, we turn our gaze away before we complete the handshake. And that is a big no-no. When you're meeting the person for the first time, even when it's a really big group, it's okay. Just let the rest wait. You shake the person's hand, your gaze stays on the person, you say hi, and even after the handshake, the gesture is complete, you keep your gaze on the person for just one more second. You fully acknowledge the person before you move to the next one. I know this is really hard to do, especially when you're in a really crowded place and you're really meeting a lot of people at once. But I need you to keep reminding yourself that this is how you fully acknowledge the person. And of course, now that we don't really do handshakes anymore, when you say hello to the person, just hang in there for just one more second before you move on. Make sure the person feels seen and acknowledged by you. This is the most important thing. And I think earlier someone mentioned that he will be doing a Zoom interview soon.
Yep.
Is that right? Yes. So this is something you can definitely apply for Zoom, especially interviews. When you are meeting the interviewer for the first time, you look at the person, you make sure you look at the lens. Okay, can you see my eyeline? This is me looking at the lens right now.
Yes.
This is my webcam. This is me looking at the slides. Can you see a difference?
Yes.
So when you say hi to a person, yes, chances are you might need to look back at the slides to make sure you know what you're going to talk about. But just hanging there for just one more second, I promise you, it will make all the difference in the world. And it will make the person feeling more connected with you and more willing to engage with you in a conversation.
Yeah. And I think, like we have someone who asked, why do we have to do that, right? I think Yui has just answered that. And actually, if I remember right, I think this is one of the reasons like why Bill Clinton is, one of the most charismatic presidents, from what I've heard. And that's actually what he does, just that one more second. And people have kind of dissected like how he greets people, how he just kind of hold that eye contact, right?
Yes.
So it really works. I think it doesn't only just work for politicians, it's just work for anybody, because I think like what Yui has mentioned, most of us, we tend to break the gaze before we even like remove our hand. So just by doing it differently, immediately it would create such a stronger connection with the person, and like people will just feel the difference because you are so different from everybody else already immediately.
It's so true. And I think Gina is saying that, but some are shy, whether they are confident is by seeing their eye contact. It is so true. So this is where the technique comes in. As long as this is a skill that you can practice, it's just something that you can slowly get the hang of over time. But the key is to practice. You just really have to get used to it.
Nice.
Okay. Does it make sense so far? So far, everyone? So far, so good. You're making me nervous. Okay, and next up, I really want to talk about the voice. See, this is me speaking with my really nervous voice. Everything gets stuck here in the throat, and it gets really squeaky after a while. It gets really flat and uncomfortable to listen to. But this is me speaking with my entire body supporting my voice. Does it sound different? So this is what we all need to do. Make your body, make your entire diaphragm, you see your entire body right here. You make it work for you as you speak. Okay, now your diaphragm, I know we always talk about diaphragm, but we have no idea where the diaphragm actually is. Okay, it's somewhere right here. It supports our lung. Okay, we have to make sure that the air that we breathe, everything goes into a diaphragm, because your diaphragm is the key to breathing, and the breathing is the key to your voice. Shall we do a little breathing exercise together? Shall we?
Yep, okay. Yep,
Okay,
I will be your student.
Yes, please join me. Okay, this is like a really good warm-up you can do before every meeting, okay?
Yes.
Violet, do you think we can see your, we need to move our, I think we need to move our webcam a little bit, just make sure that we can all see the bottom of our ribs, or ribs
Okay.
here on screen. Okay, if you
Mm-hmm.
could do this for me. Okay, put your hand like this. Now put your palm around the bottom of your ribs. Now everyone, we can all do this together, okay? Even though I cannot see you, but I think I can roughly get a sense if everyone's really following, okay? Because it's your breathing. Okay, now I want you to hold your hands here at the bottom of your ribs. Here, feel it?
Yep.
Okay, it goes to the bottom of the ribs, okay? So it's like right at the end of it. Now I want you to take a really deep breath against your hand and push your hands out as much as you can. A really big, huge breath and push your hands out. Just keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing until you cannot take in any more air, and then you slowly let everything out and let your ribs come in. Squeeze every inch of your body. Make sure everything gets out until your hands could almost touch each other. And then take another breath in against your hand. Make sure you can feel this part of the body expanding. And then you let it out. Okay, I hear people coughing. That happens.
That's my daughter.
Sorry, dear.
That's my daughter, yeah.
Okay, that happens. So this is a technique that I have learned from Pilates. I feel that this is really helpful in helping us to take bigger breaths and to activate all the muscles around your body here, because this is what you need. These are all the muscle groups that you need to support you as you speak.
So when do we, I do now actually, now that I start talking.
Yeah,
So
you sound
when
different.
do we, I sound different, right? So
Right.
amazing. Yeah.
Right.
So when do we do this exercise? Like just anytime before a meeting or?
I would suggest that you do this at least about half an hour before.
Okay. And how many times?
Normally, I would think that about 3 to 5 breaths would be enough. But
Nice.
but this is somewhat like training. So you just slowly your muscle. So I feel that at the beginning, you probably need to do it every morning, just to get the body used to it. So it should really help with your breathing. And there are people who actually get giddy when they do this. Because they don't normally take in so much oxygen. So at one shot, it could be a little too much for them. But I feel that this is something that's really important and you really got to get used to, because our tendency when we get nervous is our breathing gets really shallow. So everything gets stuck here at the chest. Yeah, so this is what we don't want to do, especially before you have to present yourself in a meeting, because it just shows that you're not confident and shows that you are not sure about things that you're sharing. And it shows in your voice. So just bring it down. Everything goes down to the bottom of your ribs right here.
Wow, that was really amazing. How many of you actually joined us in the exercise? Let us know in the chat.
Man.
If you actually tried this exercise, let us know that you tried it out. Would really, okay. So Billy said he did.
Did
yes. Oh, Jared, William. Yay. Oh, wow, awesome. A lot of you actually did the exercise. Awesome. Amazing.
How do you feel?
And did you feel the difference? Because obviously we couldn't hear you, but I mean I definitely feel the difference, and you hear me immediately, and you heard it, right? Wow. Yes. So I think this is awesome, and we want you guys to definitely be
Sunny cough too.
Sunny say he cough. As Lim say, became more alert, and and
yes.
Adila say, I did it similar like singing training. Nice.
Nice. Yay, I'm so glad. Okay, I do have a few exercises, but let's just start with this one.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. This would be the breathing 101 that everybody, you just start doing this every single morning and right before you go to a meeting. And of course, with your voice, with the right gaze, let's talk about the body language. Now, we all know that as we speak, it is important to keep a so-called, what we call the open body language. We keep it open, meaning that we don't fold our arms, we don't lean back. But what we instead need to do is, of course, we open our arms and we lean the body a little forward to show that I am interested in talking to you and to making a connection. Even when we do this, chances are I still see people doing this As they talk, this is what I call the chicken wings. No chicken wings. I see people doing this as they talk. This is the T-Rex. They're extinct for a reason. We don't do the T-Rex. This is what we do when we are ready to engage. We have our palms up. Mm-hmm. Yes, as we do this, okay, let me move a little bit. I'm wearing shorts underneath, so I'm trying to make sure it doesn't end up on screen. But I really want to show you guys this. So this is what you do when you need to present yourself. You have your palms up. You have your elbow pointing downwards at the ground. Try to keep your forearm parallel to the ground. And this is how you move as you speak. They can go back and forth. They can go around in a little circle. But the most important thing is when you want to engage with someone, you keep the palms up because this is you ready to receive. But if I'm speaking from if I'm being the authoritative figure here, I could keep it down, pointing downwards instead. So this can be how I speak. But this is, of course, not so you know when you do this, right? This is not when you're ready to engage. This palms up, this is. So we can all give it a try right now. Okay, everybody. Now, Violet, you might need to move your camera a little bit. Oh, okay, great, I can see you right now. I mean, Violet, you're a pro at this. You've been to all the Toastmaster training. This is too easy for you. Yeah, I'm sure you have done this before, right? You're supposed to do the thing with the palms up.
Yes.
Yes. So if everyone, we can just all do this together. Do you feel different when you talk to somebody and with this holding up? You know, interestingly, there's a research saying that some of the most popular newscasters in the United States, most of them, they present with their hands visible to the audience. This is why it matters so much. So this is, especially when it comes to Zoom meeting, make sure you do this and make sure the people you're talking to can see you. So here we go, another trick to instantly engaging with anyone you meet.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Chris, maybe you can just stop the screen sharing for a while because I think if you can just put Yui, yes, I think now they can see you better. Yeah, so Yui, maybe you just want to show the gesture again. Yeah.
Again, trying not to show my shorts.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now you've. The first thing is you feel your arm hanging at the shoulder. Okay. We don't do this because we are not nervous, because we are very sure of ourselves. So shoulders down, collarbone open. You sit straight up straight. And you feel like there's a string that's pulling you from the top of your head, that's pulling you upwards. So we don't do this. We keep our chin down, but gaze straight. So this is how you speak. You have your elbow pointing downwards, forearm parallel to the ground, palms up, and this is how you gesture. They move back and forth a little, they can go around in a circle, but this is you, ready to engage. Well, this is especially useful for business presentation, actually. So this is also a gesture when you invite interaction and inviting your audience to ask questions as well.
Nice. So you were saying that, you know, like if you want to maybe have a bit of authority, or then they will speak with their arms down. Arms down.
Yes, but usually I wouldn't recommend this because most of the time when you present yourself, you do want to be able to speak to your audience and to communicate effectively. Yeah, so let's all avoid this.
So just focus on palms up is much better, right? Be it you are talking to to
anybody. Yep. So this is what I would suggest. The next tip could be a little tricky. This is what I call the proximity, AKA the question. I mean, Violet, you've been to so many TV interviews. I'm pretty sure you know what I mean when, you know, when you're meeting someone for the first time and they ask you something that's kind of personal. Someone say, if Violet, I'm meeting you for the first time, I'll be like, oh, so how long have you been and your husband been married? How do you meet? Well, you're the dating expert. Do you ever quarrel with your husband? It's kind of personal for the first meeting, right?
No, but I think, I'm so used to these questions. I don't find it personal anymore. But I know what you mean, because it's like once you sit down and then the person is kind of like, then you're like, okay.
Yeah, this is what we call the CSI questions. Suddenly the
Yes,
person comes
yes.
to CSI UK, so that's a little scary. So we don't do that. First of
Yes.
all, you observe the proximity. That's
Mm-hmm.
literally the distance between you and this person. If you're
Yes.
meeting the person for the first time, especially in a social setting, you keep it light. You can say, yes, how's your night going? How do you get here? How do you find the event? And then I do have a trick. Okay, this is what you can do. Just observe the surrounding. Say, for example, you're at an event and there's a video playing on the wall, maybe on the LED wall. You can say something like, hey, there's such an amazing video. I wonder who made that. How long did it take to shoot it? Oh, I wonder how it's done. Use your who, what, where, when, why, how to start a conversation on something mutual. It's an experience that is shared mutually by you and your new friends, and that will be a good place to start. And then from there, you can slowly move into personal interest. So if the person says something that, oh, I think that video, they probably took about a day or two to make it. Oh, that means the person knows about video production. Then that will be a good place to start, because you can follow up with questions like, oh, are you from the media industry? And then there you go. You have a conversation right there.
Nice. Very nice. So we have a question, with regards to body language from
Okay.
Glory. So Glory is asking, for body language gesture that you have shown just now, is that for female or male? It's
That's a great
for
question.
both genders. Yeah.
I think it's for both genders, but I feel that for male, you can see, I'm still quite fidgety. I think for guys, it's even more important for you to keep your body weight stable. I feel that for us ladies, sometimes it's acceptable to lean your body weight to one side and to probably speak from an angle. But for a man, I would suggest that you keep your body weight equal. Okay, now everybody, let's just sit on the chair. I want you to sit properly on the chair, both feet on the ground, and feel your sit bone. Feel both your sit bone on the chair. And I want you to distribute your body weight equally on it. Okay, now we have your sit bone in place. I want you to feel your ribs. You stack it on top of your sit bone. So this is how you should roughly look like. We don't go forward, we don't go backward. It stacks right on top of the sit bone, and then you have your chest, your shoulder, and your head. This is the position you're supposed to be. So on top of this, with your gesture, this is how you present yourself professionally. And even for a semi-formal event, say a business social setting, I would say these are probably some of the more tricky ones, because this is when you need to maintain your professionalism, but at the same time make small talks with people. So always pay attention to these little details, because you're constantly being observed by how you present yourself. And I think this is how people have an impression about you, perhaps at some of the social settings. So this is where it all makes the difference.
Nice. Thank you, Yu. And I've just gotten a time check from Christina.
Ooh. Okay, was that too long? I have the tendency, because especially when I'm not the host, right, and I'm not on TV, I can just go on and on and on and on and on. Now that I don't have a studio director at night, I can just do what I want.
Yeah, so okay, I think that's definitely great. I think a lot of you have been saying like this, so practical, it's really not theoretical, and you get to practice it, and all of you have been really experiencing it.
Yeah,
So awesome. Yeah, so okay, so we want to test if you have been listening to Yui. So please tell us, what are the 5 tips? Yes, tell us now in the chat. What are the 5 tips? Let's see, have you been listening and been, taking down notes? Okay, let's see who is the first one who can give us all the 5 tips.
The 5 tips
so we have the first one.
everyone you meet.
Yeah, so the first one we have commitment, yes, tone, voice.
Wow, thank you,
guys. Eye
guys.
contact, body language. Wow, good job, guys. Proximity.
Whoa, well done.
Wow.
Great.
Wow, good job.
This is really encouraging.
Yes,
It is
yes,
so nice.
yes. And even someone, Esther said, I just joined after a business meeting. Can I watch the recording? Yeah, so she's learning so much. She's like, what did I miss out on? Okay, awesome. So I can
Oh,
see all of
perfect.
you guys have been listening in and following our 5 tips. And we have Lil here who have put in all the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Commitment, eye contact, voice, body language, proximity. Well done. Yes. Okay.
Yay!
So actually, we have more because UE have another like grade three more tips for us, right? So I think we know that be it you are meeting your match, be it you are going on a first date, be it going for a new job, or even some of you you have been talking about going for online job interviews right now. It's extremely important to create a positive first impression. So UE, please share with us what are the 3 tips that you have for our participants tonight.
Violet, you're really making me work here. You know that.
Have to be not easy to get you on my show.
But I totally enjoy this. This is my pleasure. And I enjoy doing this so much because sometimes when I witness a transformation in the people I work with, for
Yes.
them, even for me, I feel that it's life-changing. And and it makes me so happy to see them going out there presenting themselves in such a comfortable manner. So
Yes.
the next thing that I really want to talk about is the appearance. If I may, can you share about one of the questions that Violet has shared with me earlier? I think it was from the registration, right, Violet?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, let me see if I have. Okay, so I think we have a question here. How can I make a good impression if I'm not physically attractive? Like maybe I'm short or I'm plump. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. This is something that I really want to address. This is never about the body shape nor the body size. This is always about your style. Who are you? Are you a minimalist? Do you like bold colors? Are you into prints? Do you accessorize? This is about your personality. This is not about how tall you are. That doesn't matter because you are who you are. But what you decide to do with it, that's totally up to you. So ladies, dress up and wear makeup. Guys, yes, dress up too. Please style your hair, wear proper shoes and socks. It's all in the details. So this is what I really want to talk about, your appearance. Again, it's not about the shape. It's not about your body shape or size. It's about how you present yourself, how you groom yourself. Because this is how you want to be seen. This is who you are. So the first thing you need to do to make a great first impression is your appearance. I
Nice.
love how Violet, you always come to the morning show fully dressed up with proper makeup and hair on. I will always be like, oh my gosh. Kudos to you. I tried doing this myself, but you made it happen. Because why? Because you're representing your company and you know that
Yeah.
it matters.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think for the longest time, you made the effort to present yourself in a nice and proper way because you know this is how you want to be seen as a professional who's here and ready to engage and ready to present yourself. This is why this is
Yes.
so important.
Yep. For sure, I agree. And I think, we have always tell our singers as well, like be it during coaching and things like that, because you only have that few seconds to make an impression. Yeah, because
Yes.
obviously like when we go on the TV interviews, usually it's just a couple of minutes, and I mean people judge very quickly, and sometimes we just even just do it subconsciously.
Yep.
And I think like what you say is just so important to make sure we always put our best foot forward, right? Like, so I think you have given us some great tips on how we can just present ourselves in the best way possible. And like I think someone has mentioned this as well, that it's not so much about how you look, but it's really about your confidence as well.
Yes, precisely. Okay,
Yes.
the next up, I have 2 little tricks that you might have noticed me using through this entire conversation. The
Mm,
second tip is the listening. The listening, what about the listening? It's about using the keywords. This is what I call the reflective listening. This is a little mental trick that you can use to help you be more engaged in your conversation. Did you hear me repeating some of the words that has been used by Violet earlier on? This is the trick. You repeat or you paraphrase some of the words that has been spoken by your friend right here. So this is to show that you have been paying attention to what they're telling you. For example, right, you can say something like, if you're with a group of friends and you're just talking about your favorite food, you can say something like, I feel about my nasi lemak just like how you feel about your mee goreng. But you get the idea, right? It's like your love for food. I understand your love for food, and this is my love for food, but using your love for food as an example of for my love for food. So you try to use the same context, just try to paraphrase and use the same word as well. So this will help in increasing the engagement you have with the other person. The next one I really want to share, it's a little difficult though, but it's okay. This can be done. I need you to know what makes you different. What makes you?
So what is your unique selling point?
Okay, it really depends on who I'm with. Say if I'm, for example, with a group of international friends, I would feel that my unique selling point would be the fact that I am from Singapore, and so I can speak to them probably in English. I'll speak to my own family in Chinese, and that's a culture that they could be interested in. Yeah, so say if I'm with a group of, say, media presenters, then what makes me different? I've been an actress. That's something different. So how do you stand out? Are you more athletic? Are you more familiar with science? What sets you apart, and how can you contribute to a conversation? What are you bringing to the table? And if we can bring this just one notch up, how do you find your unique selling point on a common ground? Say, for example, right, let's say you're with a group of people, and then you, after chatting for a while, you realize that you all enjoy cycling. Do they prefer mountain bike or road bike? Did you just get a new foldable bike? From there, you find a common topic, and then you try to differentiate yourself. And this is where you can create that little chemistry when you start talking to your friend, because you do have something in common, but there's something about you that's different. Then people will pay attention to you. They will find you interesting, and ta-da, there you go. You got a great conversation, and you know exactly what you can comfortably talk about. And there you go.
That's so interesting, because I just realized that the second and the third thing that you've just shared with us. So for those of you who have not been listening, now I'm helping you. So the second one, which is the listening, and the third one, which is like the USP, right? Or know what makes you different. Then I start to realize that that's something that I do subconsciously. Yeah, that's so interesting.
Tell me about it.
Yes. Like I mean, people have always tell me that they really enjoy talking to me. But I actually usually don't do much talking.
You're a very, very good listener. That's the thing I realize about you.
Yeah, so I just end up like listening to them, like you say, and then doing a lot of reflexive listening. So of course they still hear me talking, but actually I end up talking a lot more about them actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you're very encouraging when you do active listening when you listen.
Yes. And I think the other thing, like you say, the USP is like what you say, really finding the common ground of what we have in common, but at the same time, sharing a unique experience or a unique perspective that maybe only I have done or I have observed. Then it create that interesting point for people to want to know more, and that makes you stand out, like what you have just said.
Yes.
Okay, I think a lot of people have been saying to us is like, I want my questions to be answered. Okay, so we are going to do like a fire question round. Okay, so 我们现在考口才了。So
口才了啊，要 carry on, okay? Have fun.
Okay, so first question, what do we do if we meet someone who gives us the vibe that he or she does not like us? I mean, it might not be true, but it just gives us that vibe. What would you do? What do you think?
What will I do? So be it lor. Don't like lor. Okay, the truth is not everyone is gonna like you.
Yes, that's true.
Yes, and I feel that sometimes if the person has any perception about you, it may or may not be true. But what you need to decide is, do you need this person to like you? That's the thing. Do you have to work with the person? Do you need to, I don't know, do
Yeah,
you have
which
to?
brings me to my second question, which
Mm,
is very related to this one. So this
okay.
person say, how do we engage with someone who does not look at us or even look away from us when speaking to us? And this is actually a colleague at work. So I think
This is
probably,
a tough
they
one.
kind of need this person to like them or engage with them.
This is a tough one. Honestly, I would say don't try, because the moment you start trying, it it might backfire, I feel. But it would help if you can observe the things that the person said. If the person has said anything about you, or he has any impression about you that's probably, maybe there was a misunderstanding, slowly pay attention to it first. You observe and then you wait until the appropriate time before you can address this issue. But before that, don't try to be nice, because it might backfire before you actually figure out what's wrong.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that makes a lot of sense as well, because I think sometimes when we kind of over try or we try too hard, then
Yes.
people might even think that, okay, why is this person, what is this person trying to do,
Yeah.
like yeah, is it, like what I thought was right, that's why, like
Mm,
whatever I thought of this person is probably right, that's why this person is now trying so hard. Yeah, so
mm,
so I think like what you say, probably find out why, did something happen, and maybe
yeah.
even just try a different approach rather than trying a bit too hard. Yeah, it might have
Yes.
counterproductive. Okay, we have another question here which says, does your advice apply to those with serious social anxiety? So I think you have given us 5 tips plus 3 tips. Yes.
Oh wow. I get pretty anxious in a social setting myself too.
Mm-hmm.
I have to admit, and there are definitely moments when I find myself socially awkward. I feel that it helps a lot when, if you can have a drink on one hand, especially at an event, and you leave
Yes.
one hand free to make connections and talk to people, and then you just try to start in a small group. So say if you can go with a friend, you can just stand around at probably one of the high tables and start chatting, and then you try to make sure, right? So you don't stand in a closed position, you stand in a slightly open V, so that if this is an inviting position that you can invite others to join the conversation as well. There is one trick that I have ever used before when I was in New York, and it works. That is to stand near the door.
Mm.
Because the moment you stand near closer, when you stand at the entrance, people will be walking in. And when
Yes.
people walk in, especially when they're alone, they will be looking for people to talk to. And this is where you make the eye connection, you smile, and you start chatting. And then you go with the first question. Hey, how are you doing today? How do you find the event? How do you get here? How do you want to get a drink? So this is usually how it goes. So before you can feel totally comfortable in a social setting, let's just go with the techniques first until you find your own flow. I hope that helps.
Nice. Okay, another question here, which is, what
Oh
if
gosh,
you
this is
click
tough.
off right away and there's not much proximity?
Oh,
Hmm.
isn't it better? You can skip the entire building up and then just go straight into personal interest and becoming friends. It's great, honestly. This is wonderful news, because the moment that you realize that you can talk to this person, right?
Yes, just
This
dive right in,
yeah,
right?
just go right in.
Okay, so this question is with relations to COVID. Okay, how do you address the issue of body proximity and also open body language in the COVID-19 context? How do we create a connection while also being asked to create distance? So I
I
think
know
that's
this
a
is so
very
hard, right?
relevant question. Yeah.
Well, you have to keep the is it 1 meter for us? It's 1 meter, right? Keep the
Mm,
1 meter distance,
yes,
but keep the eye contact on. Eye
yes.
contact, hand gesture, no close frame, open body, see your hands. I think this would really help a lot.
Nice. Okay, we have two similar question, which I
Okay.
think is from two ladies. why must I wear makeup? I don't like to wear makeup.
Yeah, what
Okay,
to
you
do?
eat, what do you think?
I'll try to apply a bit, okay? It doesn't have to be anything thick, but it has to be something that is proper, something that makes you look, um, maybe just add to the glow to make you look
Mhm,
healthier. Because even though sometimes when you have healthy skin, but under certain light, the face you could look a little too wash out,
mhm.
depending on the place that you're at. But it does happen. So yes, I still suggest that you wear very basic makeup, because that's still part of personal grooming, and it's all the details. And again, please pay attention to the details. It's all in the details.
Nice. Okay, I think this one last question. I think it's an
Okay.
interesting one. Speaking from experience, feedback from guys I meet, ladies who speak confidently may be labeled as intimidating to men. How do we strike a balance between confidence and non-intimidating?
Violet, you know this is not exactly up on my alley, right?
You share from your personal experience.
Ah, I feel that I'm nice. I have no intention to intimidate anybody. But I do feel that a man who can hold his ground, who can communicate effectively, would be a very nice person to spend time with. So, ladies, be yourself. If you're confident, yes, you are. And if you are a nice person, yes, we be nice, but just be who you are. Speak the way you speak. You need someone who can be on par with you. If you need someone who can be on par with you, yes, you need someone who can be on par with you.
Yep. So know yourself, be confident, and yep, just the right guy will appreciate you for who you are.
I feel that we still need a dating coach for this.
Okay, so thanks you eat for that, which connect me very nicely to the next part. So we are at 10, like I think tonight we just had so much to cover, right? And like it's so always so engaging talking to you or even watching her, like sharing with us tips, and I lost track of time as well until Christina is like, Violet, it's now
Oh my gosh,
9:30.
it's 10. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I really want to share the special gift that we have for you guys tonight, because I promised you that I will share this at 10, so I am sharing it right now at 10. So if you would like to get two of our ebooks, so we have two different ebooks here, one for the guys, which is 3 ways you're subconsciously turning her off. I think some of you have asked in the Q&A just now about this as well. And for the girls, get him to commit to you in 3 steps. So if these are some of the ebooks that you are interested to get for yourself tonight, and also at the same time have a dating assessment with one of our love experts, you can just go to the link that Christina will be sharing right now in the chat, and you can claim this offer. Or of course, you have any other questions, you can also just email us at love@lunchactually.com. Okay, so meanwhile you do that, I just want to thank you so much for spending your hour and more, because you joined me earlier before that as well, with us tonight. As usual, every time I talk to you, I mean, like, we have been talking on my lunch date with Violet, and like every time like I catch up with you, I definitely learn something. And I'm going to try and practice this breathing exercise that you have just shared, because
Yay,
I
I'm
can
glad.
really see the difference even after just two breaths, right?
Mm.
So and I just want to do a very quick recap for all of you guys who might have dialed in a bit later, right? So Yui have shared with us 5 plus 3 tips tonight. Okay, so let's just see those of you who have been listening. So what are the last 3 tips, okay, that Yui have shared with us? So please put it in the chat box right now if you can remember.
I feel
Let's
so
see.
happy that
If...
I am not one taking care of all the things right now. So grateful to be Yes, I don't have to do
So comfortable, right? Okay, so we have
Hello.
James who give the first answer. Appearance, you're right. Okay, what is the second one? Okay, let's see who
Nice.
can give us the second one. Oh wow, AL, very good. Everything. So appearance, listening, know what makes you different. Awesome. Wow, I love this group
Yay.
of people. I told you, right? You eat, they are like super attentive
Yeah.
and they are all always taking notes and wanting to learn and like apply all of this. Yes. So those are the 3 points.
Gosh.
Appearance, like how to always put our best foot forward. And Yui has said, it's not really about how you look, like it's really also about confidence and always wanting to make the first good impression. And of course, it's about listening, it's about reflective listening, active listening, and also your USP, know what makes you different. Yep. So those are the 3 tips that Yui has shared. And of course, in the beginning, Yui has also shared like 5 great tips as well. So let's revisit that very quickly. Let's see if you remember 5 tips. Yeah, wow, Billy, my best student tonight, he already put it out there before I asked. Yes, commitment in the tone, your voice, your body language, your proximity. Awesome.
Yay.
Yes.
Gosh, I'm really
Yep.
feeling the
So
love here. This is an
yes,
amazing show.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think like I don't want to take up too much of Yui's time because like she rushed home after going on TV. I think those of you who listen to the news on Channel 8, you have seen her on TV just now. Like so I want to give her time to take her rest. And of course we are approaching like election as well. That's why she has been so busy, and I'm so thankful that despite her busy schedule, she's still committed to be here tonight and like preparing all this great information for us tonight. So on behalf of like all of our lunch actually webinar attendees, I want to give you like lots of love. Like really thank you so much for being here with us. And
Yeah,
if
getting the
they
love,
want
getting love.
to, yeah, if they want to reach out to you, they want to follow you on IG or Facebook, what's the handle so that they can follow you there?
Oh, yes, please. So I can be
Yes.
easily found on IG. That's YOU_YI. And on Facebook, just look for my Chinese name. That's LIN, Lin, and YOUYL. YOUYL. Gosh, I got my own name wrong. LINYOUYI. That's how you find me on Facebook.
Okay, so I have put it out. Like for Facebook is at Lin Yui, and then for IG is at Yui.
Let me type it out. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
at YOU_YI.
Oh, underscore, yes. Okay,
Yeah.
so there it is. Okay, because you only send it to panelists, so they won't be able to see it.
Oh, sorry.
Don't worry, I have signed it out. Okay, so for all of you guys, like if you really benefited from tonight and you really want to like follow Yui on her IG, on her Facebook, like please feel free to do so. I mean, I obviously follow her and she has lots of informative
We
great
follow each
tips,
other.
about lifestyle and things like that. Yeah, thanks Yui. We follow each other. Okay, I better put mine there also, so you all can also follow me.
Follow, okay.
Yeah, okay, so Yui, I think I better let you go. Like we'll catch up again. Like finally we can meet up for a real lunch date.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's.
Yes, we'll do that after election.
Okay, which is after this week.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
Thank you, Violet, and thank you everyone so much for having me. It's been a pleasure, and I really had a good time. And I really hope that you find the tips helpful as well.
Yes, thank
Okay,
you.
thank
Good night,
you.
Yui.
Good night.
Bye-bye.